Welcome back to Talk Solent. I'm Charlotte Briere-Edney and I'm here with Sarah, Ali, Choudhury and Mike Stratton. Now, the Daily Echo is reporting that traders in Totton are threatening to take the law into their own hands if a spate of crimes against their shops and businesses continues. Earlier this month, a sweet shop, Domino's Pizza and a hairdresser's were robbed. Shop owners say the police presence in the area has gone down, but the constabulary say they have got teams down there patrolling. So, Mike, I'll start with you. Do you think that police patrols decrease crime effectively? Do you think that's a good way of decreasing crime?
They should do, but they don't, because there isn't really that many police patrols, I don't think. I think policing is minimal compared to what it should be. I don't think taking the law into your own hands is a good move, but if it's not being policed, then somebody's going to do something.
Is that how do you agree with that sentiment?
I think police patrolling does make a difference in an area.
And you disagree with me every time?
I do. This is just me and you, isn't it? We just keep disagreeing. Yeah. And we did last time as well, I think.
But where's the police presence? Come on, where's the police presence?
Well, when they're driving around an area with a police car and people see that, people who are going.
So you think the patrols? No. So you agree on this? The visible police presence helps keep crime down.
Yes.
You both think that, okay?
I think yes, it does. It keeps the crime down. You need to have police at least driving around every now and again, or just showing their face to get rid of any troublemakers.
Sorry, I've misunderstood this. I was picturing, is there enough police presence, basically, or are there enough?
But that's a valid question as well. Do you think there is enough police presence?
In agreement with Sarah, yeah. If there was police presence, yes, it would keep crime down.
Okay.
There isn't enough police presence.
So you just
do you think that there are enough?
No, it's because I misunderstood the question.
That's right. Sorry, that's probably my fault.
No.
Do you think there are enough police out there on the streets? Or do you think?
Well, if they're saying that these 3 incidents have happened and there's not enough police in that area, then should they not be increasing the police patrols in that particular area?
So the Hampshire Police says we have a neighbourhoods team based in Totton, supported by response and patrol officers and detectives who all work together there. So that's what they've said to the Daily Echo about what they do.
I think that that maybe they need to be increasing the patrols that are going on in that area. Permanently,
or just for a period of time until they get over this?
I think there should be. If that area has 3, in the space of a short time, it's not a good sign.
No,
they should have. What about the people? And it's not just that they've stolen something or they've broken. It's the trauma that the people who are in that situation, what they go through. The shop, it's a small business.
Yeah.
An independent business. It's taken a lot of hard work to get there. And then somebody comes along and just destroys all their hard work and steals, their goods. And, because there are policemen around who could just have a drive round every now and again, I don't think it's going to affect them in their sort of daily duties with the police. So I think they should be looking at doing it more permanently.
So it doesn't just stop at the trauma, does it? Because then you've got the insurance of, you take out an insurance policy against theft, you claim on that insurance, your policy goes up the following year. It just costs you money after money after money. And then some businesses will get hit again and again and again because they're easy targets.
And why do you think that people are stealing from these businesses? What do you think it's for?
I'm not allowed to say on TV.
Right. What do you think people would be stealing for?
Well, hair. What were they stealing from the hair salon?
From the hair salon, it says £3,000 worth of hair extensions were taken, and it says.
So if you see anyone walking around with really long hair, you know what's going on there. I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Stealing for resale.
Anything valuable. I think it's it'll probably end up on eBay.
Or other online
sites.
retailers, right? Yeah. Okay.
So they could also organise that their own neighbourhood watch type thing between their communities, small businesses between each other, and have their own sort of cameras and stuff put in if they felt that the police weren't doing enough.
And what do you think of, what do you think of that idea of, they've said resort to vigilante justice? They're not exactly clear what they're going to do. But I suppose that could be anything from a neighbourhood watch to,
actively,
being involved in, I mean, it doesn't say this in the article, but it could potentially mean, you know, being aggressively confronting these people.
It could mean taking the law into your own hands. I think Neighbourhood Watch is an excellent idea.
But I do not feel that, you know, the police are being paid their, you know, that we pay them to sort of make sure that everything's okay and those issues don't happen. And then when they happen and people are taking it into their own hands, then what value do the police have anymore?
And do you think the police are adequately resourced?
I do think I think there's enough resources for them to go around if there's an area that's going on, you know, and it's not once, it's kind of repeated now. I think that there's enough resource for them to go and patrol in that area.
See, I totally disagree with that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I do. There's not enough policing. I remember when I was a lad. We used to have a foot bobby or two walking up the street. He'd go, then cross over, go down and up, and then he'd get to the end of his beat, and then he'd come back on the other side of the road. And you don't see that anymore. PCSOs haven't got the power that they should. I think PCSOs, if they had more PCSOs, it'd be good because you've got some form of security. I've seen people walk past the police and put their middle finger up at them, and the police just don't even bother. They just drive off. They've got no power anymore. Gone are the days where me as a lad, and I'll say this as a lad, used to get a clip round the ear roll from a policeman quite regularly. You know, and as a teenager, you know, they haven't got that power anymore. Nobody is scared of the police anymore.
Do you think we should be scared? Is that a
No,
desirable outcome?
I don't think we should be scared of the police. I don't think we should be scared of the police. I saw an article the other day. It was in the paper about children shouldn't be scared of the police. They should feel safe with the police. But I think we should be aware. We should be able to have the same as how I felt as a teenager was if you put a foot wrong, you spent a night in a police cell. That's it. And people aren't wary of the police anymore because the police haven't got the power they used to have. That was all taken away from them.
Right, okay.
Back in the 80s, they had a lot more power, and they should have that power given back to them.
What powers was it that they had that they don't have now? Do you think?
Clip round the ear roll.
Okay.
You know, they stop and search.
Okay, I mean they do have that power.
Do they still get that power?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've not had any run-ins with the police for very many years. But
I'm glad to hear that, Mike.
But you know, they could stop and search you, and if they had any reasonable doubt that you should be walking down the street, you were nicked. They don't have that anymore. And I you know, as a slightly older person now, I don't feel safe sometimes because the policing isn't about. I've had run-ins with people, and the police haven't even attended. And I just think that it's changed so much. I don't think they've got the power, I don't think they've got resources, and we certainly haven't got the police we used to have.
Fair enough.
That's my view.
No, that's fine. Thank you for sharing that with us. We're going to move on now because 91% of children, apparently, according to new figures, are not getting enough exercise. And this is coming out as a big pedal scheme gets underway across the country, including over on the Isle of Wight, where I know there are a number of schools that are taking part in this initiative to sort of, I don't know if you can really see, but to get young children essentially pedalling on their bikes to and from school. Sarah, how much exercise did you do as a child?
No, don't pick on me. I'm terrible with exercise.
But as a child, were you any better as a child?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I'm not an exercise person, and unfortunately, my kids fall under those categories.
Okay.
They're the ones who least like exercise as well. I've got 4 children, and my 2 younger boys, they're very active, but my girls are just, you know, they're just terrible.
Not into it.
They're just
What do you think it is about it that they don't like, and what was it that you didn't like?
It's laziness, and it's. I don't blame the children. I blame the parents. I blame myself. It's just not active enough. When I was growing up, I wasn't. Yeah, I mean, I had a bike and I did do all of that kind of stuff, but it was more sort of for fun. It wasn't, for an exercise type thing. And nowadays, you see children going out with their parents for a bike ride. I mean, not nowadays. People have always done it. But I've never done it, and I think the reason that the children are, are falling under the category of not exercising enough is because the parents are not bringing it into their routine enough. I don't bring it in my routine, and I fully 100% take the blame. For my children not liking exercise enough, not wanting to do sport. And my oldest daughter Hannah, she'll do anything to get out of PE. you know, and her school are probably listening to this. They know that it's true. They'll back me on that one. And my other girl, she's much better than us, and she's motivating me and trying to get healthier, trying to get fitter, and they're motivating me now. But I think that generally children growing up, if they've got parents who are doing that and being more, you know, doing things with them, activities of going out and, you know, and trying to be healthy, or riding or swimming, whatever it is, I think that will just help to mould the child to be healthier all round anyway.
So it's important to sort of include it into their routine on a day-to-day basis. So schemes like the pedal, I can't know what it's called now, Big Pedal 2017, that's a good idea, is it, to try and get people to cycle to school?
I'm not joining on to it.
Right, okay. It's a great idea, but not for me. What do you think, Mike? Do you, I mean, I think it's, you know, easy to understand how 91% of children could, I mean, it seems an extraordinary number. What do you put that down to? Do you think it's the parents as well, or do you think there are other reasons?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a massive fan of the ABC exercise. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I think, I remember as a child doing very little exercise. Actually, I'll say that's a lie. I used to walk everywhere. I wasn't a massive fan of cycling. I did have a bike. I did used to ride it from time to time, only because I had to. But it aches your feet and your legs, and you don't want to do things that, you know, that inflicts pain anymore. I think if I had kids, I'd probably be the same as what you were saying. I probably wouldn't actually encourage them.
Okay.
ABC, by the way, means accelerator, brake and clutch.
What's that mean in terms of exercise?
I'm a big fan of ABC exercise.
Driving.
Accelerator, brake and clutch.
Oh, right,
I'll drive to the local shop.
Because I remember exercise, not only was, you know, it was almost every single day after school, I was like doing some kind of, it was swimming or this or that or gymnastics or something after school. But also during school, every lunch break, we must have been zipping up and down the playground like yo-yos.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because I don't go to schools that often. But I wonder whether, you know, do children now play on their phones, and is it this, you know, their lunch breaks are not involving exercise as well?
Because now looking back, when I was younger, I mean, I think even though I wouldn't say my parents liked it, that we did go out for picnics and stuff, but they weren't the type who would say, come on, let's go for a bike ride or anything like that. But I was much more active when I was younger. But when I look at my children, they are nowhere near as active as I was. And even though I don't like sports or anything like that, but I reckon that I just think that has a huge impact on it with the phones and sort of Netflix.
Okay, and all these easy ways of entertainment that don't involve doing anything. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for in this segment. We've got much more coming up after the break, so don't go anywhere. talk@thatsolent.com is the email address, or #TalkSolent on Twitter if you want to share your thoughts.